Hello YouTube artists, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today I thought I would take you along the path to coming up with a class or a course. I am working on a color mixing membership for next year. To be the first to find out about the membership, make sure that you sign up to my newsletter in the video description box below. And there's some things that I need to find, and that is a palette for mixing colors, one that holds a lot of paint, but yet gives me enough places that I can add a variety of colors, because you know color mixing is a trial and error. And I thought it would be nice to take you along in the process. So I'm going to need a lot of spaces. I'm going to need some deeper spaces so that I can mix a puddle so that we can use those in the membership to draw things with and color things with. And I found a variety of palettes and palette prices, and I thought I would just give you my thoughts on what I'm exactly looking for and show you some palettes that I found. A lot of them are very interesting, and I'm glad I found them because I will be able to use them for different things. But for the membership, I'm looking for a specific thing that will help me and the students the best way possible. So in this membership, what it's going to be based on is these will be my pictures and my color palettes. But for right now, I am using the color cube card just to get me into the process. So here is what the pages look like. I want it to look sketchbooky, like a working sketchbook, but also beautiful, but also representative of me and my style. So you'll see this is the first one, and this is the colors. Here was me mixing the colors and trying different things. And here's the color palette that I landed on. And I'm pretty happy with that. It's not exact, but it is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for close, because that is good enough. We've experimented and something like that. So throughout here, we're adding little items, and you can see as it unfolds, I've got more and more items. So I want to make sure that when I'm mixing these final colors, as well as when I'm mixing these, that I have enough colors to play with. So here I've got some elements drawn here, and then this was done with the leftover colors from my items. And you can see this is a pretty big space. I mean, that's my hand. So I need a lot of color. And this is where my struggle was, because I don't have a palette that is deep enough. So let me share what I've got so far. This is my favorite palette. I've been using this palette since I started watercolor, basically. And I love it because of the little indentations that I can put color in. And then on the back side, I can use it as a clear palette. You know, it's got 4 individual spaces as well. But what I found in this one is you can see they're very shallow. They're not real deep, especially when you get in here. I can't put a lot of color in there. So this one here is online for $22. And although it's my favorite, it did not let me hold enough color. And that's why I'm today trying all these other palettes to see what they can do for me. There's this one, just a simple flower shape, and this one was $5.99. I got this one from Hobby Lobby, but I know you can find these ceramic flowers everywhere online. Now I like this one, but I don't think there's enough spaces. I need 5 colors. So if I was to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you see that I've only got like 2 more spaces for color mixing. So what's going to happen is I'm going to play around with mixing the colors, and I'm going to have to wash this afterwards. So although I love the flower shape and I love working with the flower palette, I think it's just too small. And so I'm looking for something with more spaces. This one I found on Amazon for $6.99. It's an incredible deal, and right now it's unavailable, of course. But what I liked about this one is look how long. So I could actually mix a color here and mix another color here for trial and error. You know, like if this one needed more red, I would just come over here and add a little more red. I like that those are deep. I mean, look, it's almost the size of my finger. So I like that I could have several mixing colors here. But what I don't like is it's kind of gray, so it's going to give me a hard time mixing. Let me show you. Here is the white of the flower, and you can see that this one's a little grayer. It's not going to mix me up too bad, but I would prefer a white area for mixing, especially because it is color mixing. However, I think if you can find this, I would buy it in a minute just because of it's heavy. It's a great size. You can see here's my hand. So it's not that large, but I really like the shape of this one. By the way, I will have every one of these in the video description box so that you can find them if you're interested in them. The next one I found came in a cute little metal box, and this one was $18.99. And I like this one. I liked it because it's in a case. I can close the lid, but I like all the various shapes. Again, this has more shapes. They're not as long, but they're a little wider than the previous one. I like these big squares here. And I like the idea that if I am painting, I can at night close the lid and keep it clean. That is something to consider because of dust and everything getting over it. But I also like the idea that if I don't come back to it for several days, it's there and it's covered and it's just waiting for me. So this is a possibility. It's a little expensive at the $18.99, but again, I think it's a great size. I love that it comes in a tin, and I've been wanting this one forever anyways. This one is $12.99. Again, it comes with a cover, which I really liked. I liked how small this was. I mean, here's the palm of my hand, so it is only that big. I like that. It is a little different configuration, but I like that this could be used as a mixing pan, and then this could be used for the colors. Again, they're not that deep. However, they are bigger. So remember, one of my complaints here was these are not big enough, where these definitely are, and it gives you 12 colors to play with, which I think is a nice amount, because yes, I'm going to have some that I won't like, but I think they can be easily changed. Again, I've got spaces in here, so if I'm using like an orange and a green and it needs more orange, I can definitely go in here because the space is big enough. Where in this little one here, I definitely did not have the room to add more color and to make a difference into what the mix would look like. I think this one is super cute too. And then I found this one, and I've seen several people online using this. This one was $13.95, and I like the idea that I could squirt colors up here and then just dip and use that all as one. My drawback with this one, it did not come with a lid. I like the size. I like the size of these. They're very deep. They're small, you know, they're small round wise, but they have a lot of depth to them. And I think that that's a really good thing. I think I'll be able to mix quite a lot of paint in there to use over and over. But I really, really like the idea of this little bar up here as well, that I could squirt the colors in and try mixing from there. And an expanded version of the one I just showed you, this is my most expensive palette. And I've seen these anywhere from 21 to 24 to 27 holes, I believe. So it comes in various sizes. This is a Jack Richardson palette, but you can find them online through Amazon that are non-name brands, and they're a little less expensive. But this one I found for $29.95. I loved it because of the big lid. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's a monster. And here's what the palette looks like. You can see it's a lot different. This is the one that's $13.95. You can see there's more holes here, but this one is heavier. It's definitely thicker ceramic, if that makes a difference. But I do like the idea of the lid coming with it, and I like the idea that it can also be used as a palette. But I don't know that I would pay the price of this one, the $29.95. If I could find this for the $13.95 or even $15 or $18.95, I would definitely buy it because of the lid piece, I think, before I would buy this one without the lid. Now, it's not a big deal. You can always put a piece of cardboard or mat board or something over it to keep the dust off. I just like that this comes with, it's two pieces and they perfectly fit together. I do like that a lot. but the price range for this one is a little bit much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera so that you can actually see how much paint I can mix here. So you're going to have kind of this bird's eye view here, so you can watch me and see how much paint we can get into there. I want to try this one. Well, I actually want to try the $13.95. I want to try this one, the Meaden one, because I do like the idea of these squares. And then I want to try this one in the box because I want to see if these will give me a lot of color as well as these. I know this will give me the color, but I want to make sure that I can add and remix instead of cleaning it out. The whole point of this is I want to be able to do maximum colors without washing my palette. So let me set that up and I will be right back. When playing around with these and adding the colors, I liked how each one of them mixed really great. So going into the container was wonderful. You can see here, these are way too big for my little sketchbook. Now, if I was painting with the big concertina book and doing the membership in that, this would be perfect because you've got a really nice deep mixing well. I love the size of these, but for my little sketchbook, I think it's really overkill of paint. And the more water you add, the more it's going to run that way. So if you keep adding water, what's going to happen is it's just going to end up filling the well, and there's not going to be as much pigment here as there is here. So I think for this membership, this one is not going to work. However, I absolutely love the palette, and I'm so glad that I bought that. Then you've got these two different size holes, two different areas, right? One is square, one is round. However, this one is so deep. I really like the depth of this one. This one doesn't feel as deep, but I think it makes up in the width. So I would go with either one of these. I think I'm actually going to go with this one because I've got a lot more places to mix. This one is limited to 12, even though I love the idea that this one has a color and that this one doesn't really have a color cover, so I'll have to make something out of cardboard. But for me, I think I'm gonna go with this one because of the depth of the actual holes in the palette. I just really liked working in those. I found it easier to mix. The brush went in a little different, and it's concentrating the paint down at the bottom, where this one I think is concentrating it all over the surface area. So when I go to dip, I'm going to have to stir this one, you know, because whenever you're mixing, you always want to stir. Where this one, I think I'll just be able to dip right in because it's already concentrated in the bottom of the well. So, you know, the well is like this, so it's sinking to the bottom area here. As long as I get to the bottom of this, I'll be able to pick up the correct color, where this one I feel like I'm gonna have to mix constantly, and I'm not sure I want to do this. This one just seems a little easier. Now I could go to this one, or I could be using the bigger one with the lid. I think either one is a great choice. If I could find this with the lid for less than $30, that's the one I would definitely buy. I hope that you've seen what I'm going through for the membership and trying to find the right tools to make it easier for everyone. This is my definite winner. This is a close second. So thank you for being here, and if you were inspired by learning the processes we go through for any of our online classes, I would appreciate you leaving a comment. If you haven't subscribed, please click the button. And as always, thanks so much for watching.